I'm going to tell you this right now. If it goes to 7 games and they play that game on Halloween in Boston, no matter what the outcome, they will never, ever schedule a 7th game on Halloween again. Think about this. They'll never schedule a clinching game on Halloween again. Think about this. Mayhem, good or bad, and you're allowed, socially acceptable, to be wearing a mask the whole night.
Oh, and loot. Oh, I'm all over that. Our looting expert, Jack Morris, on the line. Jack, how you doing?
Well, I've been called a lot of things, but that's the first of that one.
Well, you know what? I take it back. I shouldn't have said it. I apologize for that profusely. But the point is, Jack, if the Red Sox, well, whatever happens last night is the argument. Things could get ugly either in a very joyous way tomorrow night or in a very frustrated way tomorrow night. Is anyone thinking about that in that city? Have the cops had any press conferences? Because I think this is legitimate.
Well, the police have been out in big-time force in Boston. Not so much in St. Louis. I think the Midwest nights is probably a little more rampant in St. Louis. But yeah, here in Boston, they had a whole bunch of police presence, and that was before this game. So with the potential of clinching it tonight, I'm sure it'll be even more so.
The last time Game 6 of the World Series was played at Fenway, Carlton Fisk was waving his arms frantically in 1975. Do you remember that moment?
Yeah, I was watching. I was still a baseball fan, a young player, so yeah, I was watching.
In terms of Michael Wacha tonight, Jack, and here you have a young man who's 4-0 in the postseason, not scared of a damn thing. Just absolutely fearless. Does that continue tonight, or does the gravity of what he's in the middle of here finally start to get to this kid?
I don't know. We're going to have to wait and see. Jeez, I wish I had answers for stuff like that because I'd just run over to Vegas on my way to the ballpark.
I'd be right there with you.
A couple $100,000 down, but yeah, I don't know. Walker's got the great fastball, and that can really work well for him as long as he locates. He makes mistakes. I think Boston's a pretty good fastball hitting team, but it's going to come down to the pitchers. I think too many people are overlooking John Lackey and the fact that he's a big game pitcher.
Wouldn't it be fitting for Lackey, after all he's gone through in Boston, to kind of get his moment of redemption on the grandest of all stages?
Well, I think he already has, quite honestly, and this just is icing on the cake for him because, beating Verlander in the league championship series and then pitching out of the bullpen, winning his game in Boston early in the week. It's just been a good run for John Lackey.
Jack Morris joining us here on Tim and Sid. If it ends tonight, will David Ortiz ever have to pay for another anything in Boston ever again?
Well, he might need an entourage to go out. I mean, that's Big Papi. He's bigger than life in more ways than one.
But he's batting .733 like that, and you can throw the 4 walks on top of that and the sac fly. He's putting on a performance for the ages, isn't he?
Well, he's dialed in. There's no question. He's the one guy on both teams that seems to be able to make contact of the ball right out over the plate. He has gotten so many good pitches to hit. It's mind-boggling for a guy like me because, there are holes in David Ortiz's swing, but nobody seems to be exposing them, and nobody's moving his feet. This guy could be sitting in a rocking chair at home plate. He's so comfortable.
Jack, it's now to the point where even let's say the Red Sox blow these 2 games. Papi could still win the MVP of the World Series, could he not?
No. It never goes to a player on the losing team, I don't think, and I don't believe that should happen that way. I mean, the team that wins should have a representative.
Finally, Jack, one of the sub stories of yesterday, we just alluded to it briefly, was the fact that the Cardinals plane was 7 hours late leaving St. Louis. They had mechanical issues, had to change planes, and there are some in the Cards world wondering how this would affect the team. I'm asking you, what was your worst plane experience during your major league career?
Oh, we had a couple. We almost had a mid-air collision once upon takeoff when I was with the Tigers, and I know we had to jump aboard a DC-3 from Cleveland back to Detroit, which half the guys after the captain told us to rearrange our luggage and balance the weight in the plane, we all walked off and took our own flight. So, we've had a bunch of issues, but, the good news is St. Louis did not schedule a workout yesterday anyway, and so they had all evening to rest and relax and unwind. And, it's going to be a cold, damp, pretty much a ugly northeastern night tonight. And, I'm sure they're going to be invigorated.
Will there be a Game 7, Jack?
I don't think so. I have personally predicted Boston in 6, and, for me to be the knowledgeable young man that I am, I need that to come to fruition.
Former World Series MVP. He's got 4 of them. Jack, thanks a lot for taking the time and joining us on Tim and Sid.
All right, guys. Thanks for having me.
There is Jack Morris from Boston, where he's been hounded by Barry Davis throughout.
Stalked, I think is the legal term.
Hey, Jack, you want to go out for dinner?
Jack, what's a good steak place?
What are you doing for breakfast?
What's a good steak place, Jack? What's a good steak place?
Go to Starbucks. Want to come by?
Jack's-
Oh, no, Dunkin' Donuts. How about Dunkin' Donuts?
What are we doing after, buddy, old pal? What are we doing? Every time I flip on Connected, I see Jack Morris being forced to speak to Barry Davis.